On the afternoon of June 4th, 2008, a young salesman failed to arrive at an important business conference in Utah. Friends were surprised, family members were concerned. What began as a missing persons mystery quickly evolved into one of the most infamous murder cases in modern American history. The investigation would expose a complicated relationship filled with obsession, jealousy, conflicting stories, and disturbing evidence. At the center of it all was a woman whose calm smile during interviews would become almost as famous as the crime itself. This is the true story of Jodi Arias and the murder of Travis Alexander. Travis Victor Alexander was born on July 28, 1977 in Riverside, California. His childhood was difficult. His parents struggled with drug addiction, and after their deaths, Travis and his siblings were raised by their grandparents. Despite those hardships, he developed a reputation as an optimistic and ambitious young man. As an adult, Travis became involved with a multi-level marketing company called Prepaid Legal Services. The job allowed him to travel across the United States while giving motivational presentations. Friends described him as charismatic, deeply religious, and committed to the beliefs of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He lived in Mesa, Arizona, where he was well known within his church community. In September 2006, Travis attended a company conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was there that he met Jodi Arias. Jodi had been born on July 9, 1980 in Salinas, California. She worked as a photographer and later joined Prepaid Legal after meeting representatives connected with the company. Friends described her as intelligent, artistic, and friendly. The connection between Jodi and Travis developed quickly. Within days of meeting, they began communicating constantly. Their relationship soon became romantic despite living in different states. Jodi eventually converted to the Mormon faith, and many believe she was serious about building a future with Travis. However, beneath the surface, the relationship was becoming increasingly unstable. Friends later recalled frequent arguments, emotional highs and lows, and periods where the couple would separate only to reconnect again. Travis reportedly told friends that Jodi could become possessive and jealous. Some described incidents where she appeared unexpectedly or contacted him repeatedly. The relationship officially ended after only a few months, but the emotional attachment did not. Even after breaking up, the two continued communicating through phone calls, emails, and text messages. They occasionally spent time together and maintained an intimate relationship despite dating other people. By early 2008, Travis was preparing for a trip to Cancun, Mexico with friends. He had also begun seeing other women and was reportedly hoping to find someone who shared his religious values and wanted a long-term relationship. Friends later said Jodi struggled with that reality. Around the same time, she made several significant decisions. She left California and moved closer to Travis in Arizona before later returning to California. Records showed she rented cars on multiple occasions. During one rental period, the mileage logged by the vehicle would later become a major point during the investigation. In late May 2008, Travis continued making plans for the upcoming Cancun vacation. Jodi, meanwhile, told friends she intended to travel to Utah for work-related events. What happened next would become the subject of years of courtroom examination. According to investigators, sometime in early June 2008, Jodi drove from California toward Arizona. On June 4th, Travis spent part of the day at home in Mesa. During the afternoon, photographs were taken inside the house using Travis's digital camera. Many appeared ordinary at first. The images showed Travis relaxing around the home. Later photographs captured the couple together. Then the camera documented something entirely different. Investigators would eventually recover accidental photographs showing part of the violent attack itself. Those images would become among the most significant pieces of evidence ever presented during the trial. Sometime that afternoon, Travis Alexander suffered a brutal assault. Medical examiners later determined he had been stabbed dozens of times. His throat had been deeply cut. He also suffered a gunshot wound to the head. The combination of injuries demonstrated an extraordinarily violent attack. After the killing, investigators believed attempts were made to clean portions of the crime scene. Blood was discovered in several locations throughout the bathroom. A washing machine contained freshly cleaned bedding and clothing. The camera itself had been placed inside the washing machine but survived. Its memory card remained intact. For several days, Travis's friends became increasingly worried. He failed to answer calls. He missed scheduled meetings. He did not appear for the conference in Utah. Friends who knew Travis well realized this behavior was completely out of character. On June 9th, concerned friends visited his Mesa home. Inside, they discovered Travis's body in the shower. Police arrived shortly afterward and began processing the scene. Initially, detectives considered several possibilities. Because of the extreme violence, some wondered whether multiple attackers had been involved. Others considered robbery. However, valuable property remained inside the home. Attention quickly shifted toward people who had been close to Travis. Detectives interviewed friends, family members, and former girlfriends. Jodi Arias soon became one of the individuals investigators wanted to question. During her first conversations with police, Jodi claimed she had not seen Travis for months. She insisted she was nowhere near Arizona at the time of the murder. Investigators continued collecting evidence. Phone records, rental agreements, gasoline purchases, and witness statements began creating a timeline. Then forensic experts examined Travis's camera. The recovered photographs dramatically changed the direction of the investigation. The camera showed images taken on June 4th, only hours before Travis's death. One accidental photograph appeared to capture part of the bathroom floor while the attack was underway. Another showed Travis lying motionless. These timestamps placed Jodi inside the house on the day of the murder. DNA evidence provided another critical breakthrough. Blood recovered inside the bathroom contained DNA from both Travis Alexander and Jodi Arias. Investigators concluded that both had been injured or bleeding during the struggle. Confronted with mounting evidence, Jodi changed her story. She admitted being at Travis's home but claimed two masked intruders suddenly entered the house. According to her account, the strangers attacked both of them. She claimed they murdered Travis and allowed her to escape. Investigators found no evidence supporting that version. No unidentified DNA, no signs of forced entry, no witnesses reporting suspicious individuals. As the investigation continued, Jodi changed her story again. This time, she admitted killing Travis but argued she had acted in self-defense. She claimed Travis had become physically abusive and attacked her after she accidentally dropped his camera. According to her testimony, she feared for her life. Prosecutors presented a very different narrative. They argued that the killing had been carefully planned. Evidence introduced during trial included the rented vehicle, missing gasoline receipts, the removal of license plates during portions of the journey, and inconsistencies in Jodi's statements. They also pointed to the extraordinary number of injuries Travis sustained, arguing they reflected rage rather than self-defense. The trial officially began in January 2013. Almost immediately, it attracted international attention. Television networks carried extensive live coverage. Millions watched as jurors heard months of testimony from detectives, forensic scientists, medical experts, psychologists, and friends of both Travis and Jodi. One of the most discussed moments came during Jodi Arias' own testimony. Over approximately 18 days on the witness stand, she described the relationship in detail. She alleged Travis had emotionally and physically abused her throughout their relationship. Prosecutors challenged many of those claims using text messages, emails, recorded conversations, photographs, and witness testimony. Jurors also examined explicit communications between the couple, revealing the complicated nature of their relationship after the breakup. The defense argued that years of emotional manipulation culminated in a violent confrontation that forced Jodi to defend herself. The prosecution maintained that no credible evidence supported imminent danger. Instead, prosecutors argued the evidence showed premeditation. The medical examiner testified regarding the extent of Travis's injuries. The fatal throat wound measured several inches deep. The stab wounds covered much of his body. His defensive wounds suggested he had attempted to protect himself during the attack. Experts also testified that the gunshot wound was likely inflicted while Travis was still alive or very near the time of death. Digital forensic specialists reconstructed the timeline from the recovered camera. Bloodstain analysts explained how patterns at the scene corresponded with the physical evidence. The cumulative effect painted a detailed reconstruction of the final moments inside the bathroom. Throughout the proceedings, Jodi maintained that she never intended to murder Travis. She repeatedly insisted she acted only because she believed her own life was in danger. On May 8, 2013, after approximately 15 hours of deliberation, the jury returned its verdict. Jodi Arias was found guilty of first-degree murder. The verdict meant jurors concluded the killing had been intentional and premeditated. The sentencing phase proved more complicated. Jurors could not unanimously agree between imposing the death penalty or life imprisonment. A second penalty phase also ended without unanimous agreement. Because Arizona law required a unanimous decision for a death sentence, the judge ultimately imposed life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Jodi Arias was transferred to the Arizona Department of Corrections to serve her sentence. The case continued attracting attention through appeals, documentaries, books, podcasts, and television specials. Legal appeals challenged various aspects of the trial, including allegations involving prosecutorial conduct, but the conviction itself remained in place. For investigators, the case represented a powerful example of how modern forensic science could reconstruct a crime with remarkable precision. A damaged camera left inside a washing machine, digital timestamps, DNA evidence, blood pattern analysis, rental records, telephone data. Each individual piece may not have solved the case alone, but together they formed a compelling evidentiary chain. For those who knew Travis Alexander, however, the courtroom debates never changed the personal loss. Friends remembered him as generous, ambitious, and deeply committed to helping others succeed. His death left a lasting impact on his family, church community, and colleagues. Years later, the case remains one of the most closely studied criminal investigations of the 21st century, not because it involved an unknown killer, not because investigators lacked evidence, but because it revealed how a seemingly ordinary relationship could deteriorate into extraordinary violence. The story of Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander continues to serve as a reminder that behind every headline, every courtroom argument, and every television broadcast are real people whose lives were permanently changed by one tragic afternoon in June 2008. Kindly turn your click to kindness by subscribing, like, and comment. Thank you for watching. If you found this documentary informative, consider subscribing for more carefully researched true crime stories based on verified facts, court records, and official investigations. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember that the most unsettling mysteries are often the ones hidden in plain sight.